Could this 3% differential fix your midfield problems in FPL? And is it time to jump on the Bryan Mbeumo hype train? In today's transfer tips video, we're taking a look at the hottest transfers in FPL, and I'm going to give you my opinions on whether they should be transferred in or out of your FPL teams. So, let's get into this. Welcome back to the channel. We're here with our transfer tips video today. Just before we get stuck in with our first player here in Bryan Mbeumo, if you are brand new to the channel and haven't yet subscribed, go ahead and do so. We're 2 subs away from 1,000. Be great to hit that on today's video, and the like goal for the video is 12 likes. Let's see if we can hit both of those on today's video. We're getting stuck in with the first player here in Bryan Mbeumo, a player we've touched on in a few videos in the past few weeks, identifying him as a pretty decent buy in FPL, and I think he's slowly catching up to his attacking data, which is why we initially found him as a really decent FPL pick. The Night Manager's algorithm identified him as a few weeks ago being a decent buy. He's now coming into sort of a little bit of form with Manchester United, sorry. Of course, 3 wins in a row is something we've not really seen under Amorim. And, you know, you've got 2 away games next with United assets. That's not ideal, but Forest seem to be struggling under Sean Dyche. Spurs' home form isn't exactly great within the Premier League. So overall, the fixtures a bit longer term don't look bad either. But overall, I do think the fixtures are pretty decent. They kind of hit or miss in some areas. No, Palace away isn't too great. In terms of him as an asset himself, and not the team Manchester United, his attacking data still looked great. He's involved in a lot of things going forward for Manchester United. I think it's especially strong having Mbeumo when Manchester United transition. He's incredible for that. We've seen it happen at Brentford, but having a little bit more quality around him at Manchester United, you know, I think slowly but surely he will keep scoring goals. And of course, at 21% ownership now, 8.2 million in FPL. It does feel like a lot of money, but I think he's starting to show that worth within FPL. So for me, he's definitely a decent person to consider buying in FPL right now. In the last 5 fixtures for Chelsea, JOãO Pedro has a combined XG of 0.07. He is really not doing well at the moment, and a lot of managers are getting absolutely sick of him. And for good reason. You're paying 7.5 million for a player who plays for a top side. There's quality all around him. They really should be winning games and scoring a lot more goals than they are. But JOãO Pedro is just absolutely flopping. Now, the only possible reason people have held JOãO Pedro for so long and will maybe continue to do so, I mean, we've got 52% of the player base still owning JOãO Pedro here, is the fixtures. And now, absolutely, I understand if you're sick of him, get rid of him. But let's kind of have a look at the potential idea of holding him here. I'm not sure it's the best idea, but let's have a look. Spurs away in game week 10. Now, if you ask me, this is possibly the window right now with Spurs away from home to sell JOãO Pedro. If you want to keep him, you've then got Wolves at home, Burnley away, then it's Arsenal at home. That's when I would sell JOãO Pedro if I wanted to keep him. But at the end of the day, he's an asset that I probably would sell. He's massively underperforming right now. Chelsea don't seem too great going forward, but overall, JOãO Pedro has been uber disappointing. So yeah, Spurs away, I think that's the window to sell. But if you want to keep, Wolves and Burnley don't sound too bad. Yeah, it's hard to call with JOãO Pedro, but I think I would sell. Mateta is the second most popular asset to bring into your FPL team this game week, with almost 350,000 transfers in already on a Wednesday. Now, 7.7 million, 15.7% ownership. I think he's decently priced within FPL. Still a pretty good value option here. I mean, his data looks incredible. Slightly underperforming his data, as we all know, and it's kind of caught up to him within the last few fixtures, of course, scoring that hat-trick. But looking at the fixtures below us here, just to have an idea of what we're dealing with, bringing in an asset like Mateta here. I know a lot of people could be making the move from JOãO Pedro up to Jean-Philippe Mateta here. I don't think there's really a bad fixture at the bottom of your screen here for Jean-Philippe Mateta. I don't mind Palace assets in any fixture in particular with the way they go forward. If you've got a Palace attacker, the chances are any given game week, Ismaila Sarr, Jean-Philippe Mateta, I would most likely play them. I think they've got a good chance of scoring in any game. And of course, in the Arsenal fixture, that was kind of difficult against the best defence in the league. But still, I think these players have great chances going forward. And Jean-Philippe Mateta, for me, is a great buy at 7.7 million. Of course, getting slightly mainstream as a pick from content creators to shilling that he's a great pick. Oh my god, he's fantastic. But I do think he is really great. Penalties as well. Palace unreal going forward. Yeah, for me, Jean-Philippe Mateta is a great buy in FPL. Now, if you've seen my channel before, you know I own a team with both Salah and Haaland in for their good run of fixtures coming up. So I'm going to try be as unbiased as possible when speaking about Mohamed Salah here. And I'm often very unbiased with talking about FPL players. I'm very a real FPL manager. You know, I don't kind of lie and connive my way into sort of saying it was a good process, it was this, it was that. At the end of the day, Mohamed Salah is underperforming. We understand this. He's slowly going down in price, slowly going down in ownership. But I still think Liverpool, in their form, I cannot see this keeping up. I can absolutely see around maybe game week 12, going into their incredible fixture run, that Liverpool start to look a lot better, scoring goals, winning games in the Premier League. I just can't see this lasting forever. This form will slowly come away. I mean, the goal that Salah scored against Brentford, I think will boost his confidence ever so slightly going into these next few fixtures. I mean, it was an incredible technique to pull the ball down from high, hit it first time on your other foot into the top corner. It was a great finish. But overall, Salah has been underperforming. If selling Salah opens up moves elsewhere in FPL for you to make you happier with your team, absolutely go and do it. But if you've got the luxury of holding on to Mohamed Salah with Liverpool's fixture run coming up, I don't think it makes sense to get rid of him. I really don't. You could look at maybe subbing in someone like Cody Gakpo, saving that money and maybe taking the punt that Liverpool will improve, but Cody Gakpo will be the better asset there. That seems completely fine there, but then it's a question of minutes for Cody Gakpo. Is he going to play every game on that left-hand side? It's just super hard to tell with him. But for me, in FPL, of course, I own Mohamed Salah, so you probably don't want to listen to me here, but I honestly think keeping a hold of him isn't a bad idea with the fixtures coming up and the possibility that Liverpool could turn it around within the next few games. Moving on now to my Night Manager's approved pick of the week, and this week it's a massive differential. Minte of Brighton at 3.6% ownership and 6 million. I cannot believe he's only had 28,000 transfers in this game week. He seems like an obvious option to me, you know, sat looking at data, looking at fixture runs coming up, but he seems really low-key, and the Night Manager's algorithm has identified him as a pretty good differential to buy for the next few weeks of FPL. If you're not sure who the Night Manager's algorithm are, they are the best performing FPL algorithm in the entire game. Of course, a great average rank over the last 2 seasons. I'll put a graphic on screen here. I am partnered with them this season, so use the link in the description and code FPLMOGS to get 2 free weeks of Night Managers. Definitely go check that out. They're absolutely unreal. But speaking a little bit more in detail about Minte here for the next few minutes, I think his fixture run is really great. You've got Palace away in there, which I think will be a bit of a cagey fixture. We don't really know what the result of that game will be. If I had to guess, I do think Palace will nip it at home. But overall, these fixtures look pretty good. Leeds at home. Of course, Leeds have looked a little bit better than people thought in the Premier League, but I still think a team like Brighton can hurt a team like Leeds with the quality they have in the squad. You've then, of course, we spoke about Crystal Palace. You've got Brentford at home. Good home fixture. Forest away, not too bad. We'll see if Sean Dyche can turn things around by then and look a more solid side. Aston Villa at home, I don't think it's a bad fixture. Any fixture at home for Brighton. And then, of course, West Ham at home in game week 15. For me, 3.6% ownership, 6 million. He's cheap, he's cheerful. His attacking data isn't too bad. I think it will improve within these good fixtures. But overall, this Night Manager's approved pick in Yakubu Minte looks ridiculously good and good value I will say. If you own Victor Gyökeres right now and you're looking at that Burnley away fixture after 5 blanks in a row, you're probably thinking, what the hell do I do here? I mean, look, it's an incredibly hard decision, I think, especially within this week, more than we've had in previous weeks, to whether you sell or just keep a hold of them for one more week. Blanking in the last 5 obviously pushes you towards selling, but I don't think FPL managers have enough patience within this game, in my opinion. Looking at that Burnley away fixture, there's not really going to be a better fixture within the Premier League for Victor Gyökeres. Yeah, sure, it could be at home, but Burnley away doesn't feel like a bad week at all for an Arsenal attacker. 22.2% ownership, 9 million. It does feel like a lot for an asset that keeps blanking. We spoke about PEDRO previously in this video, blanking so much, and everyone's just getting sick of him. But he had a bad fixture in game week 10, which I think gave you the opportunity to sell. Now looking at this Burnley away fixture in game week 10 for Victor Gyökeres, I think you keep him. I really do. One more week, what's the harm in it? If he blanks again, you know for sure to sell him ahead of this slightly difficult run coming up. Sunderland away, of course, I think will still be a hard fixture for any team in the Premier League, but Arsenal could see some joy within that game. Spurs at home isn't too bad. Chelsea away is pretty tough. You've got Brentford at home, isn't too bad. Aston Villa away, not a great fixture. So kind of iffy run coming up for Arsenal. But this Burnley away fixture feels like the best fixture you're going to get in week. So I would keep a hold of him personally for game week 10. Have a bit of patience with him. Even though you've been so patient so far this season, why not give him one more game? Tomorrow, as always, you can expect my team selection video, so make sure you're looking out for that. Of course, a massive thank you for your support on today's video and the channel. If you did enjoy today's video, go ahead and drop a like. If you're not yet subscribed to the channel, go ahead and click that sub button for future FPL content and FPL streams. But that is everything for today's video. Thank you again so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye for now.